to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years. Pascal Siakam, named Series MVP, scored 31 in the clincher. Tyrese Halliburton, 21 points and 13 assists. Game 1 of the NBA Finals on Thursday night, the Pacers at Oklahoma City. Baseball Saturday evening, the Los Angeles Dodgers over the New York Yankees, 18-2. Dodgers hit 5 homers, including 2 by Max Muncy. He finished with 7 RBI. Aaron Judge, 2 home runs for the Yankees, now is 21 on the season. Mariners over the Twins in 11 innings, 5-4. Seattle's Cole Young, the game-winning fielder's choice in the bottom of the 11th in his Major League debut. Seattle's Cal Raleigh's 22nd home run, tying Shohei Ohtani for the Major League lead. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electrical needs, call Parker.
Our Sunday forecast is bringing us some big changes. We're seeing a 40% chance for some rain showers in the afternoon and evening. Mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures dropping down at around 90 degrees with overnight lows sitting at around 73 degrees. For the Foxton Weather Experts, I'm Ashley Lessa.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Don McDowell Outdoor Radio is sponsored by Elevate Design Group. Now here's your host, a saltwater fisherman and the man that fears no fish. He's the Bass Daddy and a tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Hey, welcome to the show today. We've got a lot of territory to cover, and we're going to get right to it, so fasten your seatbelt. We've got a superstar on the phone with us, Matt Shura. You know, he's a legend in Apache Junction, now Tonto Basin, and now he's hanging out at Horseshoe Lake. Matt, what are you doing, dude?
No, man, getting all the fishing I can get in before I go get my surgery, man. I'll tell you, I got the surgery on my gut, and they don't want me lifting over 5 to 10 pounds for 2 months. And as you know, with the fish I catch, that's not going to work out.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Put your boots on, fasten your seatbelt, because it's going to get deep with this guy. Oh my gosh.
Well, I do have to tell you, I've seen some of the biggest weights in these tournaments, some of the biggest fish coming out of these lakes, and I'm talking Lake Pleasant, Apache, Roosevelt.
Oh, yeah.
In the last month and a half, I caught a 922, 9-pound, 9.22-pound largemouth out of Roosevelt in the Gary Picari tournament. Just a beautiful fish. We ended up with 22.83 in that tournament, and 22.99 won it, man. We were so close. We took second. First loser, but and then just another couple weeks later, I caught a fish over 10 pounds, 10.05. So there's just some awesome fish coming out. The weight, I haven't seen the weights this big, ever really in Arizona. Just throughout the state, it's just the fishing's been really good.
Yeah. So what? Two things. I know you've been pounding Horseshoe, and then. Any knowledge on San Carlos?
Yes and yes. Yeah, we fished Horseshoe yesterday. Actually brought the boat down there, and the ramp's a single lane road. I haven't been there in probably 25 years. I don't know about you, but it's
no kidding. Yeah,
it's a real neat place, and it's a real fertile lake, just above Bartlett, and just grows them big and fat. And we ended up with probably a dozen fish yesterday. It wasn't great. I haven't been there in a long time, and we're just trying different things. We only fished till noon, till it got hot, but some really healthy fish, and we caught a dozen fish there, and it's kind of a hidden gem. A lot of people don't go there. There was 3 boats in the parking lot, and just a really neat place. The road's terrible. I will say that. You got to go real slow.
That road's always been terrible.
Yeah, there's a couple bunk boards you got to go around from the boat trailers. You got to drive around them on the road for sure. But yeah, just take it slow. It's not horrible. But yeah, San Carlos is still there. It's down. It's coming down. But the last time I fished it, we just had an amazing day. Probably 5 fish and for over 23, 24 pounds.
Wow.
So just really good quality fish, and they're kind of congregated in certain areas. It seems, they're kind of you hit an area, you'll catch 4 or 5, and then you'll go a little while without a bite. But it's worth it because the fish, the average size fish, we're catching are 3 to 4 pound fish, and
Nice.
it's just been. It's been really good, and they're killing the crappie there too. Absolutely killing them. Just
I'm hearing reports of that, and then excuse me, the other issue that I'm hearing is the size of the crappie.
yeah. And to me, San Carlos always seemed like a Mexico lake. You know how they just grow them big in Mexico. The bass lakes in Mexico are awesome, and San Carlos always has been that way for me. They grow so quick. The lake will dry up, and a year later, there's 4 pounders in the lake again. It's crazy. And I talked to a crappie fisherman that caught over 200 crappie between the 3 of them in one day. Just out there, just dragging a minnow around, or crappie jig with a minnow. So it's real neat. Real neat place, and it's great to see it fishing well again. I just hope they keep watering it because it's just there was a state record years ago caught out of that lake. They grow them big.
Well,
So
one of the problems that we have had historically, and I'm going to try to be delicate with the Indian folks up there, but they have that particular reservation has a tendency to oversell its water annually, every year.
Yes.
So the drawdown is extreme, trying to meet the obligations that they got paid for. Couple years ago, we had a big incident with the ranchers and permittees down around Florence. CAP cut the water off that they were selling to the ranchers, and which is a big deal because the only wildlife in the area, and the wildlife population is really good down there, mule deer and lions and tigers and the small game birds, all that kind of stuff. But the Indians as well, San Carlos, their water dwindles. So I mean, we really got in a big tizzy. I mean, we went to all the local municipalities trying to buy water, and got the congressman involved. Went to D.C. and it was a big deal. So anyway, long story short, we ended up having to buy water from town of Florence, who already had a moratorium on water usage relative to their internal development. So anyway, that's just a footnote.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame they can't fill that lake up and leave it full because it would be one of the best lakes in the country. But we're stuck with what we have, and we're lucky to be able to fish it. Like I said, it's just great to see all these lakes doing healthy and coming back. I mean, just the midweek bass tournament that was last week, Luan Porter won it with 27.69 pounds for 5 fish, and that's Roosevelt. And they had an 8.77 pound big fish.
Where'd they launch out of?
They went out of Windy Hill.
Windy, okay.
Yeah, and Nick Teschler took second. He took second with 25 pounds. It's like if you had 25 pounds at Roosevelt, you could pretty much put the money in the bank.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not more.
God, now what's he doing? Fishing with hot dogs?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. The topwater bite is just on fire. I mean, they're pushing shad up. I believe there's a shad spawn going on. The lake's off limits for me now. We have a tournament this weekend, the Fishing 48, but looks like that shad spawn's kind of going on in the morning. They're going crazy in the morning, and then if you can find them throughout the day, they'll get those shad corralled in, and all it takes is a school of those big ones to move in, and you can go from zero to hero in 10 minutes when those big fish start blowing up, and you can throw topwater, your Ricos, your super spooks. I'm throwing the dippers. I love those little small swim baits, and we had a 60 fish day and got off the water at noon last week.
Man.
And just had a ball. Fishing's awesome. Get there early, get off the lake early before it gets hot, and hopefully this looks like we got some good rain coming in, so hopefully that'll stir things up too and get some water, running in. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see all these big weights, and even the Let's Talk Fishing last week. Remember, I don't know if you remember Ken Howden. He's a lot of people use him as a mechanic for years. Gary Understiller, they've been around forever, but they weighed 24.85 in the Let's Talk Fishing and won that one with a 7.43 pound big fish. So Yeah, and even Pleasant had a 20-pound limit this last week.
Go
20
figure.
pounds to win a Pleasant tournament. I remember
Nice.
when it took 10. Right?
Yeah, I want to go back to we got about 3 minutes before we go to break, and then I'm going to ask you to hang on after the break, and I want to finish up with, some of the excuse me, seasonal techniques because, as you know, you've known me forever. Top water, top water, top water. I don't care what day it is, what time of the year. I'm going to throw top water quite a bit. Pretty much like Ron Kirsten drags. Yeah, chicken cross.
Carolina rig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the top water bite is obviously one of my favorite techniques and really, really productive. And I find it very, very productive on a couple of different levels. The Rio Rico, that 574 that we designed years ago, the hammer shad really works well.
Yes.
In fact, they all do. It's just a matter of personal choice, and your color combination. But throwing buzz baits, there's a lot of guys that are throwing white on white, white on chartreuse. I'm throwing black on black, and once in a while, this time of year, are you experiencing any short strikes on top water?
When they're busting, they're eating it. I mean, you got to dig the hooks out. But when they're not actively busting, yes, yeah, definitely missing a few throughout the day.
Yeah, I think for a tournament angler, that's probably one of the most aggravating things you can get into. Okay, you've got to sustain topwater bite, but early morning they're going to be gorging themselves. And then it seemed like they just start playing volleyball with it, knock it up in the air, jump over it, jump under it. It's just like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Well, that's what we found last week. Is they'd. And that's what's kind of cool with the forward-facing sonar now. You can kind of see where these fish go, and they'll just kind of back out. They'll suspend. They'll just chill out a little bit, catch their breath, and then you see them just like sharks. They'll just slowly work up to the shad, slowly work up to the shad. And I don't know if they all just say on 3, 1, 2, 3, and just go, but it's like somebody put a blender in the water. Just hundreds of fish and shad running up on the bank, running for their lives, and anything that moves, you throw in there, you're going to catch them.
Yeah, you just got Kimberly's attention. She's a scuba diver, and you said sharks, and she woke up. Oh, my God, sharks.
They look like little sharks, man. They're just cruise right up there all calm, and they all kind of get together and corral them up, man. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, they get aggressive. They have aggressive behavior anyway, but one of the things that's highly overlooked, which is kind of off point, but trout are an apex predator. And you get these big German brown trouts. They are exactly like a shark. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I've caught a few browns, and they're very aggressive.
Yeah, you don't see that in the pan size, but you get over 24 inches, you got an apex killer on your hands. So anyway, just a side note.
Very cool.
Anyway, we got to flip into a break here, do some business for our sponsors, and Airtime. This is the time of the year for Airtime. So if you guys need an HVAC, get a hold of Matt. We're gonna give you a phone number out. Airtime will do a good job for you. So. Anyway, we're going to do some business for our sponsors now that we've done business for Matt's sponsors. We'll be right back here on Fox Sports 910. back. Matt Shura is telling tales on, some great stuff. We haven't had water enough to fish horseshoe for quite a long time. San Carlos, same way. If there's a fish to be caught, Matt Shura is the guy to catch it. I've seen him fishing in mud puddles. But anyway, that's a story for another time. Okay, so let's get back on Roosevelt. That seems to be the big topic. Back on the topwater. One of the techniques that I found to be very productive, especially on the goofball Lake Pleasant. You get in a tournament, you do, hopefully you get your 5 fish by 9 o'clock because they'll shut off between 9:30 and 10:30, maybe 11. And then, the little wolf packs, start coming around. But, the main lake, historically on Pleasant, holds big fish. And throwing a buzzbait parallel with the shore is arduous. You can throw and throw and throw and throw, and you might get a bite. But if you do get a bite, it's going to be pretty good fish as a rule. Yeah. So, what are your techniques on throwing top water besides the Little Dipper? I mean, you mentioned early on the Ricos and some of the other popper type chuggers, kind of thing. But give me your take on buzz baits.
Yeah, I love throwing topwater too, and and you're giving away Johnny's secret, by the way, with that black buzz bait thing. So he kind of showed me that.
Stop. That is not Johnny's secret. That's my secret. He stole it. I'll hold him accountable. No. That's not Johnny's secret. No. Liar, pants on fire. No.
Hopefully Johnny Johnson's not listening. If he is, I didn't tell him. I didn't let the cat out of the bag. But anyway, I love throwing a buzzbait. It's a blast. But really, Rico's, of course, just a staple. And there's so many ways to work that Rico. You can splash it when it's got a little breeze, and you can I like blurping it. I caught a fish over 10 pounds at Pleasant just doing that short little blurp.
Yep.
Blurp. Let it sit. You know how it makes that blurp sound? It kind of calls them up.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah, I was actually in Cottonwood Cove. Caught one over 10 pounds in a tournament on a Rico there. But really one of my all-time favorites for topwater baits is a Super Spook or a Super Spook Junior. I just love throwing that bait. The Okie Shad is my favorite. She's favorite color, the one with the chartreuse back that's kind of translucent.
Yeah.
I've won tournaments at Pleasant on that Super Spook Junior especially. Just put on some 14-pound monofilament, make long casts, and just walk the dog. Just twitch. It's got the rattles in it, and that color's color's translucent, so it's not as bright. In that clear water, you just don't need something shiny, chrome, that kind of thing. It's too much flash. To just get that more translucent, natural color. And for some reason, the way that light penetrates through, the back is chartreuse. The light penetrates through it and just kind of makes it glow and gives it a really neat profile. So I love throwing that Super Spook Junior. It's one of my go-to topwater baits for sure, and Ricos, of course.
Yeah, of course. But what? Let's pick 2 lakes. 3 lakes: Bartlett, Pleasant, Roosevelt. Which Rico would you throw on what lake?
Which would I throw? Well, at Roosevelt, you're tired of hearing me talk about it, I'm sure, but those skinny dippers and little dippers just are killer. It's hard for me to throw topwater because I can make 6 casts with that little dipper covering water, or I can only make 1 or 2 casts with that Super Spook, with the topwater bait where you got to twitch it back. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm a lot more efficient, can cover more water, so that's just my thing. Yeah. But at Bartlett, the water's a little more stained, so I do like that Rico, a little more noise, that pop. Rico always works great at Bartlett, and Pleasant, the Super Spook Junior for me is my go-to. That's just my favorites.
One of the things I'm trying to get at here, we're dealing with different levels of water clarity. If you're throwing a Rico, on Bartlett, what color pattern would you like to stay on?
Yeah, see, with a little bit of stain that Bartlett has, I like lightning shad is what it's called by Rico, and it's just that silver with the red, blood on the side kind of. It's just a more shad pattern, because you can get away with that flash because you don't have crystal clear water. Like you can't see 15 feet down like at Pleasant. You can only see 3 or 4 feet down. So I like a little more flash, a little more brightness on my baits when I go to Bartlett. So just the clearer the water, the lighter the baits, basically. And like I say, at night we're throwing dark colors, black, because it gives that silhouette, and so yeah, it's personal preference too. I mean, if you're around the fish, I don't know if it matters if it's silver or green or pink. They're probably gonna eat it, but yeah, let the water clarity kind of let you know what whether to go brighter or more subtle. At Mojave you can see 30 feet down. We're throwing pretty much clear baits.
Oh yeah.
We're totally clear. And it doesn't make sense to buy a bait that doesn't have any paint on it at all, but clear. It's just plastic, and it's just real subtle.
There was a point in my life that we would buy buy baits, crankbaits and topwater bait, and take fingernail polish remover and ditch the paint, because there was only a couple of brands that had clear plastic underneath the paint. Some had. Most all of them had, the milky white, which, wasn't a big deal one way or the other, but we focused on getting clear. And then there was a time, a long time ago, I'm talking about 2000 and even beyond that, the clear translucent bait. There was one manufacturer, and I'll think of that manufacturer about 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was kind of like a Sherwood Forest green, but it was translucent. And I'm telling you, God, I want a lot of money on that damn bait. I mean,
those Reaction Innovations Vixens back then were the deal. I don't know if that's the bait you're talking about.
No, it wasn't. It was well before that. So anyway.
Yeah.
No,
very cool.
That's crazy. So. What's your next big event coming up besides your surgery? Now, listen, if RC and I can be of assistance, I've got a brand new Wyoming skinny knife. He's got a stapler and some duct tape. So, hey, brother, we can fix you up.
Keep that in mind. I'd probably save my insurance company some money.
Well, we'll just take you down to the fire station. Those guys are pretty good. So.
Oh man. No.
Yeah.
No, but we got the next tournament's this Saturday at Roosevelt, the Fishing 48. So there's going to be some really good weights on that. Probably gets, they've been getting 70 plus boats, so it's been pretty good. And then I'll do my surgery, and I'm hoping to get healthy and be able to lift 10-pounder bass again, and then go to planning on fishing the U.S. Open this year at Mojave. That's just a neat event, fun tournament. But I'll tell you, the next 2 weeks we're busy at Bass Pro Shops. We got the kids pond again, from 11 to 3 these next 2 weekends. We're even doing it on Friday now. So
nice.
Get out of the heat, get in the air conditioning, take your kids and catch some bluegills.
Is there?
It's a neat deal.
Okay, is that happening over at Glendale as well?
Yes, I believe so. I'm at the Mesa Bass Pro Shop store, but I know Glendale is doing it. I just don't have the times and dates for that. I know it's going to happen Father's Day. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. It's a fun time for the kids.
Are they bringing in the Johnsonville Brought tractor and trailer this year?
No, not this year.
Okay.
Not this year. I know Levi, the store manager, smoked some hot dogs one year, but I know we're setting up for a big event with Josh Bertrand, too. The Mark Townsend Memorial Seminar is coming up, so stay tuned for details on that. I think they're just trying to solidify a date, and that's another great event that we do at Mesa Bass Pro. Josh Bertrand is the class act.
We'll keep on top of that. While you were talking about throwing super spooks and dark silhouettes at nighttime, one of the damnedest things I ever went through fishing a tournament with Mark in the dark. Mark can't see in the dark, seriously. So we're at the boat ramp, and he said, "Just hang on just a minute. I need an extra 10 minutes." I said, "Okay, we have plenty of time." And I hear, whoosh, 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 whoosh. I said, "Mark, what the hell are you doing?" He says, "I'm painting this super spook black." Okay. So we air dried it about 65, 70 miles an hour, and then he was throwing that actually, he was catching fish. I mean, we had a good night until the rattlesnake showed up and tried to get in the boat. And or our buddy Mark. You know, if it's got teeth or no eyebrows and shoulders, he is in panic mode. 100%. 100%.
I'm
not going
kind of the same way. I don't like
so
things
far
like
as
this.
I'm not going to go so far to say you got white knuckle, but sure look lucky to me. So,
Oh man, that's funny.
okay, brother, we got to get this thing wound down, and best of luck to you. We'll be following you at Fishing 48, and let me know before you go in if there's anything you need we can do for you. You got a lot of friends out there that think the world of you, so you're not alone in your struggles.
I sure appreciate it, man.
All right, love you, man. Matt Shura, ladies and gentlemen, one of Arizona's better bass ambassadors, good fishing, you know, and taught Johnny Johnson everything he knows. All right, yeah. Okay, go get him, Johnny. All right, we're going to stand down. When we come back, we're going to do the Badass Report from North Dakota with Badass herself, Taylor Stewart. I don't know what she's got in store, but it's always good. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910.
And always on our free iHeartRadio app. Here's the Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
All right, we're back. We are changing gears. We're going from Horseshoe and San Carlos, Roosevelt, Bartlett, Pleasant to the Badlands with Badass. What's happening? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm having too much fun. I had a Snickers bar and a big cup of coffee today, so I'm like bouncing off the walls. It's all good.
It's 7:30 in the morning, Don.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're supposed to eat like breakfast or something, right?
I did. It's a Snickers bar.
I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I think that's
Look,
kind of
look.
fitting
Hey,
to
no,
say
no,
here.
no, no, no. It's got all the food groups. It's it's a food group all by itself.
I
No, it's-
mean, maybe I'm looking at it all wrong, but
yeah,
I
you
mean,
are.
enough about Snickers bar. Do you want to report or no?
No, yeah, go ahead. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
I got another bossy woman in my life. Thank you.
Oh, no. Well, this week's report comes with a little bit of good news and bad news. So what do you want first?
God, you sound like my doctor now. Well, let's take the bad news. Let's just
Okay.
walk into the
So,
storm.
okay. So depending on whether you're a rifle or archery hunter, if you're a non-resident bow hunter, unfortunately, we've missed the boat, literally. So that deadline passed back in May, a week ago. So
Wow.
last week when I was talking about deer, I should have been talking about archery hunting. So I apologize. So nobody come at me with pitchforks. But for rifle and muzzleloader hunters, you're still in the game. So that application deadline is June 4th, and everything is done online, obviously. And then, yeah, so just a little bit more about deer. So North Dakota is home to both whitetail deer, both whitetail and mule deer, so mostly in the west of the Badlands. So if you want to go get some hunting done, head out west. But archery season, unfortunately, I'm going to give you a stat anyway because I wrote it down, but it doesn't apply here. So archery season, I know there goes my plan. So archery season runs from August 29th to January 4th, and then bow hunters often go early to catch deer, obviously. And then most of the compound bows are fixed with mechanical bore heads and some. Yeah, so there's some people running around out here with some crazy things. It's kind of entertaining to watch, so I'm honestly kind of sad I missed the boat. But that's okay because rifle season opens November 7th, so that's exciting. So we got a bunch of friends and family members that are going to come up here and get some hunting done. But this year, the state, you guess how many tags North Dakota has available this year?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Did you invite your dad to come deer hunting?
Yes, I did. We'll
Okay.
see. We'll see what we're farming at the time. Who knows?
Yeah,
Plans change. It's like, yeah, I'll be up here, and then something breaks, and it's okay. We love him. You know, I mean, I got to work. It's important.
Yeah.
So this year,
you
the
know,
state-
here's the deal with your dad. You know, when I'm having a really bad day, I call him. Yeah, and he always ups me. So.
I mean, I do the same. I'm like, oh, what's happening down there? And I'm like, you know, I'm having a really good day.
Yeah,
I'm having a
yeah,
really good
absolutely.
day. I mean, hey, that's farming for you. You have really good highs and you have really low lows.
Oh, yeah,
But
for sure.
what can you do? But the state's drawn about 42,000 deer gun licenses, which is still a lot, but they are down about 8,000 from last year to help the herd bounce back because this winter was tough. So definitely kind of showing that. But resident tags cost $30. Non-residents pay $250. So you guys in Arizona have fun. So sorry. And a general game and habitat license certificate are definitely needed. So North Dakota allows 1 deer per license. So know your unit, follow the regs, and always get written permission before hunting on private land. But that's kind of what I got for deer. But outside of deer, it's worth noting that North Dakota is the best pheasant hunting in the world based on last week when I talked about.
Yeah.
We got those strong bird numbers. We got the wide open CRP land and low pressure spots. So definitely a good spot. And I also have a fun fact for you today, Don.
Okay.
North Dakota is the #1 honey producer in the country.
Really?
Yes, because I don't know what it is, but all that nutrients, that rich forage, I swear is the reason why the deer and upland birds are so healthy. But it makes sense. And then the meat tastes 10 times better up here. Probably because there's actually plants and flowers for them to munch on, thanks to the
Well,
bees.
you know, absolutely. I haven't. I don't recall having dined on a Dakota venison, but the ones in the whitetail that I've had dinner with, excuse me, in Missouri, came off of farmland. You know, corn and some heavy duty upscale grains and that kind of thing, and you couldn't tell what you were eating. Didn't taste like venison, didn't taste like beef, but it was wonderful. So yeah, I'd go there with you.
I mean, it's pretty good stuff. I'll have to ship you a box or something, or we'll just have to make your way up to the Badlands, play a rerun or something.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Well,
Give us the dates on the pheasants if you have those available. That seems to be the besides deer. I mean that's the big deal for you guys back there.
I mean, Mott is the pheasant capital of the world, as I said last week. Going through my notes here really fast. So the youth pheasant season is October 4th and 5th, and then the regular pheasant season starts October 11th and runs till January 4th, 2026.
Okay, so it is possible to do deer and pheasant at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I believe so. I mean, I don't see why not. Just don't get caught, I guess. Just kidding. Have your tags. Be smart.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. But, yep,
okay.
if you guys need more information, go find the North Dakota Game and Fish website.
Okay,
and you'll get even more.
On your deer season, do you know offhand if you have firearm restrictions?
Ooh.
I'm
going to be completely honest. I do not, but I can find that out for you.
Well, I'm just curious because, I get confused because some of these states, albeit, Wisconsin certainly not like the Dakotas, but, they have shotgun mandates. You can't use center fire. You have to use shotgun on, deer certain times of the year, blah, 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 blah.
All right, so I am on the North Dakota Game and Fish website. So there are some firearm restrictions. Oh gosh, this is a whole list. I can kick off next week with this.
Yeah, sure.
Holy cow, it is long, Don. It is long. This could be like 3 segments.
Go for it. Hey, I'll give you enough. We got 5 minutes before the break, and then I can hold you over. We can go clear to the top of the hour, if you have the time.
I mean, if you want to know, I'll sit here and give it to you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Let's see what they got.
So these are your legal firearms. So if it's not fit in this category, get lost. So your center fire rifle must be 22 caliber or larger. Must use bottleneck cartridges that produce at least 1,000 pounds of energy at 100 yards. Straight wall cartridges like a .35 Legend are not legal for deer in North Dakota.
Really?
Yes, not legal.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you why. I'm sure there's a story. I would love to know their name. Shotguns must be 10, 12, or 20 gauge, of course. Only legal when using a single slug.
Okay.
So no buckshot or birdshot.
No. Slugs are good. That's why I asked. Yeah.
They are good. And then for muzzleloaders, legal during the muzzleloader season, only November 28th through December 14th, 2025.
And that's the only time you can use it because a lot of states, like here, during the general deer season, firearms, you're able to use muzzleloader. If you're so inclined, you can use your archery equipment as well during the general hunt.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, it's saying nope. If it does not fall within November 28th to December 14th, get lost. See you later. Must be a .45 caliber or larger, and then must be loaded only with black powder or black powder substitute. Nothing else. And as far as handguns, must be a .35 caliber or larger. Barrel must be 4 inches or longer. Must be capable of producing 500 pounds of energy at 50 yards. No semi-auto rifles or pistols using rimfire cartridges. So those are
that sounds like a pretty sketchy rule, but okay, all right.
Kind of. I mean, I don't really know. I'd have to look into that. I'm like, that seems a little odd to me, but I don't know. Suppressors legal only if hunter has a federal permit and follows state law. So that's pretty straightforward. And then illegal firearms for deer, rimfire rifles or handguns. I wish the numbers would look. Come on. Just kidding. Shotguns with a buckshot or birdshot, fully automated weapons, and air rifles or air bows are illegal for deer. So don't
Okay.
be coming out here with any of those on the list. But
All right, you got any track events scheduled?
track events, I'm officially done with track and field. However, I do leave for Miss North Dakota
Uh-oh.
this week. Yes. So if you guys are bored next Saturday and you guys want to watch me compete, because we're going to bring it home. So if you guys are bored and you want to watch, go to the Miss North Dakota org official website, and from there you can purchase a link to watch finals night.
Nice.
So if you're bored, you'll want to watch your favorite farm girl get down and play the piano and walk in a really fancy dress and look like a real girl.
That'd be a badass in
There you
a fancy dress and yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm training in my boots for bows and glitter and sparkle, and it's gonna be good.
Man.
So if you guys want to go follow along, highly recommend. People's Choice is live for all my viewers at home. So if you want to watch me make it into the finals, you guys can help me do that. It is $1 a vote, and that can all be done on the Miss North Dakota website.
All right. God
If
love
you're
you,
bored,
man.
go look for me.
All right.
So go find Miss State Capital, look out for Talon Stewart, and that's all I got for you, Don.
All right. Good job. Send me that link. We'll shoot it up to Downtown Patient or our social media guy and get it posted out there for you.
Got it. I can do that for you. Thanks,
right.
Don. I'll see you next week.
Okay, badass. Good report. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Man. You know, at some point in life, there's going to be a guy that has to put her up at night. Shame on him. All right, wow. We got to flip into a break. I'm going to come back with a little bit of housekeeping that we can talk about. And top of the hour, General Chaos and Sheriff Wynn on Coffee and Chaos, Chris Rich, and then we're going to be talking to Chris Klein, hopefully over on the Tonto Basin side of life at the Bar X Ranch, let you know what's going on out in the field that is affecting your dinner plate. I'm Don McDowell, and this is Fox Sports 910. Okay, I'm going to get into some housekeeping. This is kind of like Badass from North Dakota. I have good news and I have bad news. I'm going to give you the good news first. This is from the Mule Deer Foundation on conservation projects that they did in 2024 last year. They're heavily involved in mule deer habitat, and they do a great job for the constituency and the wildlife in Arizona. And keep in mind, I say mule deer habitat, that's fine and dandy. They don't put signs up and say mule deer only. But some of these things are just really great. I'll give you the the acres that were affected. 303,957 acres, and there was actually more above that number than what was listed. MDF spent $2,293,393 on projects, and total projects cost was another $4,463,000, and some change. And some of the bigger projects, up north, up on the Strip area, GMU 13A, there was a clay hole water line project, phase one. That was $713,000. House rock allotment, phase one, that was $100,000. Number three was I-17 retrofit of elk and deer fence along I-17. Chapter Rewards spent $25,000. The total project cost on that one was $1,380,000. Let's see what else is. Here's another good one. Highway tanks restoration. That was $365,000. Total project cost was $867,000. And then another good one up north, GMU 12A wildlife water rehabilitation. That was a total project cost was $142,000. They spent $142,000. So if you're looking for a deer association to join, I'm going to recommend the Mule Deer Foundation. They do a lot of good work, and if you want to participate as a volunteer on some of these projects, you can shoot me an email. You can go to my website and huntingfishing.com and click on the button and send me a email. I will send you. I'm gonna give you right now Don Pelfrey's phone number. I'm gonna put this out there. He was supposed to call me back yesterday, and he was busy saving deer, but he's a regional director for MDF. He's 928-750-9332. Don Pelfrey, regional director for MDF, 928-750-9332. So that concludes the good news. The rest of this isn't necessarily good. Well, one more bit of good news. The AZGFD deer permit deadline is 11:59 p.m. on June the 3rd. So if you want to go deer hunting, you got to get that thing put in right away. We had a little bit of sprinkle this morning, but today is the opening day of hurricane season. And, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good one. There are some things that we can look forward to. And that runs through, this is average, June 1st to November 30th. September 10th, on my birthday, happens to be the peak of hurricane season. So, yeah, there won't be any whiskey involved in that one either. So, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So let's see. This year they're expecting the average season was 17 named storms, with 9 of them becoming hurricanes and 4 of those becoming major hurricanes or Category 3 or stronger. I wonder what that means. You can go up to 5. This is just above the average, which is 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 4 of those becoming major hurricanes. Over the past 5 years, only one season was right at average, with each of the other 4 years making above average. So, if you live in Hurricane Alley, you need to brace yourself. And furthermore, even if you're not there, these have a tendency to come inland and raise havoc with wind and rain, and just not along the coastal areas they come inshore. So that's it for hurricane season. We've got some travel advisories. This is not good news. There's a level 2 to level 4 travel advisories out right now. I'm going to give you my take on Mexico. I personally am boycotting Mexico like I'm boycotting China. Right now, I don't have any plans to ever go back to Mexico in view of the cartel's behavior, even in such areas as, Cancun, Rocky Point, and all that. It's being infested by the cartel doing mean, nasty, ugly things to folks, rape, pillage, plunder. So my recommendation is just stay the hell out of Mexico, boycott it. And anyway, with these popular tourist destinations like Cancun can be relatively safe. Other areas, especially those with high-level organized crime components, they pose a risk to everybody. And if you do go there, you have to exercise extreme caution. Some of the other stuff that's out there, we got to get out of here and get into a break. But there's level 2 down in Brazil and all of the other areas, especially one big one I want to warn you about, Venezuela. They are actively seeking out and detaining. Kidnapping is actually the better word coming out of the Maduro regime, American citizens. So there's State Department warnings: get the hell out of there, don't go there, and just watch your back, because it's very, very, very difficult to get turned loose once you are apprehended by either the feds, their federales or whatever the hell they call them, or the gang elements in those countries. So I just recently had a good friend that had some stuff planted in his truck crossing the border. They pulled him in a secondary and confiscated all of his stuff, which was his vehicle stuff. Put him in jail for 2 weeks, and took an act of Congress literally to get him out. So it's not worth it. Stay in the U.S. Okay, so. Anyway, we got to flip into a break here. When we come back, we're going to do some stuff. We're going to talk to General Chaos, maybe Sheriff Wynn, Chris Rich, 8:15, and then we're going to talk to, hopefully, Chris Klein over on the Bar X at Tonto Basin. So I'm Don McDowell. Thanks for listening to the first hour. Stay with us. Second hour on Fox Sports 910. All right, we're back. Okay, so we're going to have to change that because a couple of weeks ago we gave you a promotion to General Chaos. Instead of, let's say we've gone from Captain Chaos to Colonel Chaos to General Chaos. They're just chaos no matter where you go.
You know, Donnie hates when you say that. You know, he's trying to defy the truth. You know, it's like he's defying the fact he's getting old, and so he's just against everything. So he still prefers the captain, but you call him whatever, it gets him inflamed. So.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, you know, the only thing I can really say to add to that is like a bad rash. You know, he'll pop up anywhere. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You guys are worldly travelers. Let's say in America we have Veterans Day. Okay, we recognize active veterans. Then we have that's only one day. Then we have Memorial Day, which is recognizing 1.19 million American service people and non-combatants that gave it up for all of us. And then starting June 1st, we have Gay Pride Month. Not to belabor it, but what the hell is up with that? They haven't done anything except jam their minutia down our throat. So,
well,
anyway.
That's a good question, Don. I wish I had the answer for you. And, I think that, I guess, I think about National Police Week, where we spend a week in D.C. honoring the men and women of uniform and law enforcement that have given the ultimate sacrifice of their life to protect other people or to do their job.
Yeah.
It is truly amazing why, as a country that's lost so many people, we only recognize them on 2 days throughout 365 days in a year. So
yes, but I see absolutely no reason to celebrate genitalia confusion. So no. Okay.
I'm right with you, brother.
Okay. All right. What do you guys got going on?
So, well, I'll let Chemo go down that road with you. Hey, Don, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah. Go for it, big boy.
Well, I mean, as far as, we just got back we went on a 10-day trip to Hawaii, took Don out there, and he got to experience Hawaii on a different level.
Not Don. I'm not Don.
I mean, Win. Took Win, down to Hawaii, so he could experience Hawaii on a whole different level. And went really well. He got to see a lot of different things that most people that go to Hawaii don't get to see. So it turned out really good. He could kind of give you a little more insight on what he did and what he liked and what he didn't like, and we're ever going to get him back in Hawaii. I don't know.
I don't know. I saw a video, FaceTime, of Pickle Boy in a Hawaiian flowered shirt with little pink pigs on
it. Hey, I wear those every day, Don.
Sheriff Wynn, there's no doubt in my military mind.
So I've got this vast collection of Hawaiian shirts that have Black Angus cows on them, or Hampshire pigs, or sheep or something. Hell, I run a COA agricultural feed store. So it's appropriate, always looking for the brighter side of things, and with my critters. So.
Yeah, well, I once heard the saying that in Montana, men are men and sheep are scared. So,
No, that's in Wyoming.
Okay. Yeah, roger that.
Yeah. That's why I don't go to Wyoming.
Yeah, okay.
No,
you keep it up, you're going to start a border war.
I know. That inner conflict within the country. The Hawaii was really nice. So I did get to experience some things. The place we stayed, it was a little rustic. I'm not gonna lie. It was not what we envisioned. It was one room with 7 beds in it, 1 bathroom, and the kitchen was outside.
Nice.
So, not your typical Hawaiian trip. That road, I think if you saw the videos that I put on, the road to Hana is a nightmare. And I don't even know how people drive that thing, but, I met with these folks from the Hawaiian Kingdom, and there's been some progress in that, and I'm not sure if I should say anything else more than that, but there's been some progress there. So, yeah, it was fun. Lots of water, beautiful beaches, lots of rain.
Complained about my driving nonstop.
Yeah. He thought he was a Formula One racer, Don, and I'm like, dude, this is a Jeep. It's not a car. And he thought it was okay to put it up on 2 wheels and stuff. So
nice. Well, I don't necessarily see the problem in that unless it goes all the way over.
Well, the funny thing is we're going up this really tiny road, really steep, and he's cruising up it pretty good. I mean, it's loose gravel and everything. We come around the corner, there's a damn road grader in the road. I'm like, oh god.
Oh yeah.
We had a little debacle getting around that, but saw some wild goats. Saw 1 pig. And the free range chicken. There's a lot of free range chicken in Hawaii, and people should really capitalize on that. I know everybody wants free range, not cooped up, cage chicken. They need the free range stuff, and they got plenty of them over there running around. So.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Are they for the taking? Let's say.
I think they're sacred.
Oh jeez. Okay.
You'll find them in Safeway parking lots, Taco Bell parking lots, Sonic,
the hospital.
They're everywhere. They're like birds, squirrels. They're everywhere.
Well, there'd be a BB gun involved, Saturday afternoon for Sunday supper. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you investigate the wild hog hunting over there while you were there, just by chance?
No. I had a buddy who was trying to send me with an axis deer hunt, and we didn't have very good reception where we were at, so I just sent the guy a text, and I never got a response. But my buddy back here, he's over by Helena there. He's like, oh, just call him. He'll take you out. You can shoot one of those things. And I was really looking forward to it, and I wish I could have got a hold of the guy, but we'll be back over there and hopefully have that opportunity to go out and try to find one of those axis deer. And I did see a few of them. They're an interesting little creature. Not very big, that's for sure. And we only saw that one pig running. It just ran into the brush off the road, and that was the only one we saw besides the wild goats.
That he thought were horses.
That I thought, yeah. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, obviously, and of course it's nice and bright, and yeah. So
tell them about the road to Honda.
Well, are the wild goats target of opportunity, or do you have to leave them alone?
I don't know. It was weird. I mean, they were running across the hillside like a herd of damn antelope, and I was like, "What in the hell is that?" And
yeah.
So I don't know if people shoot them or not, or I don't know. That whole area, it's really that Maui's an interesting island because there's 2 different ecosystems on it, and one side gets about 10 inches of rain a year, and it's very dry. It looks a lot like Arizona. And then you go across the mountain on the other side, they get 400 inches of rain a year.
Oh, man.
And it's a rainforest. And so it's all that on one island is just, it's crazy. And,
okay, that begs a question about poisonous snakes.
Never saw one.
But do they have them? I'm going to have to look that up.
I don't think so.
I don't know if they do. They have mongooses, though. I will tell you that. And
well, if they got a mongoose, the snakes are in trouble.
Well,
that's a badass little creature.
So there, I was sitting in the chair out on the patio, and here's this little gecko goes screaming up the post. I'm like, what in the hell's your problem? And he goes up the post and goes across the rafter, and I'm like, what in the hell? And I look down, and there's a mongoose about 18 inches long sitting there looking at me, and I'm like, oh my Lord, what are you doing? And he skedaddled out of there. But somebody was telling me that when Hawaii was, people started migrating to Hawaii back in the late 1700s, they brought rats with them. I'm assuming for food. Now they have no abundance of rats. So then somewhere in the midst of all that, they brought in mongooses to kill the rats.
Yeah, well the rats historically come off the sailing vessels.
Yeah, and so they brought them in, right? Well, rats are nocturnal, mongoose aren't, and so now you have a plethora of both. So that kind of backfired in that aspect. But, yeah, there's mongooses everywhere. I think that one morning, I saw 4 from the chair while I was enjoying a.
Okay, so what's the plural? Is it mongooses or mongeese?
I call it varmints.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, I'm sorry I missed that trip. You guys sound like you had a great time over there, and a lot of good work was done. Let's say we're looking for July 27th to have you guys in studio. That should be an epic event, so we're getting prepared. And we will have I have to ask you, Chemo, does he prefer dill or sweet? Because we're going to have a jar. You tell me which one.
Zesty.
Okay. Jeez.
Just put them on the other side of the table because I can't stand pickles. They smell.
Okay, we're going to have a pickle war July
make
27th.
Make sure that pickle jar has a pride flag on it. Hey.
Here we go.
Yeah, here's the start of the battle right there. So.
Yeah. I'm going to forward all the hate mail to you guys. I'm going to let you deal with it. I'll tell you the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, and I've had a long life, is the Phoenix Gay Parade. The Phoenix Pride Parade. Oh, my God. You can't make this crap up. So, anyway. That's it. If you have a complaint on anything I've said, done, or anything I think, contact Sheriff Wynn. And top of the hour, I'll give your phone number out. So, yeah. All right, we're going to stand
Just remember,
up.
we don't hate any group. We love everybody equally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least maybe that'll match a couple of your shirts there, Sheriff. So. All right, we got to go, guys. I'm going to wish you guys the best the rest of the weekend. And, Chemo, what's your schedule moving into next week?
I go back on the road, I think, on the 4th, and then I'm gone for about 10, 15 days.
Yeah. Did you get your flying Ford fixed?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I promised I wouldn't call it a Learjet, so, okay. All right, we got to go, gentlemen. You guys take care. Love you, man. We'll talk next week. General Chaos and Sheriff Wynn, 406 Rifle Company, Huey, out of Montana. Check that out. And we're going to flip into a break. When we come back, we're going to round up Chris Rich from AZ Fly Shop, see what he's doing. Last I saw was a video of a gentleman in a float tube catching a really nice trout up at the White Mountains. So stay with us, Fox Sports 910. Well, man, where the adventure begins is, guess what? AZ Fly Shop. Chris Rich, what's happening, brother?
I'll tell you what's happening. I'm sitting out here on Becker Lake.
Wow.
I've been catching tiger trout and rainbow trout all morning. We've got heads coming up. We got a real glassy water, beautiful morning up here in the mountains. And we've been catching them on dry flies. I've now switched over to an indicator rig with a chronomid, and we're catching rainbow trout and tiger trout. We're having a ball out here, folks.
Nice. So
absolutely beautiful.
Okay, I just got a post on Instagram. What lake is that?
Becker Lake, just outside of Springerville. It's a catch and release lake. It's they've got it stocked with rainbow trout, tiger trout. There's also some nice bass in here. Every once in a while, we'll catch a nice bass on the fly, which is kind of fun. Oh, I just watched a fish jump 3 feet out of the water. Oh, my gosh, it was fantastic. I'll tell you what, it's a real active lake this morning. I was out here yesterday morning. That post you saw was from yesterday morning. Had one of the Native Americans out here, and we were smoking them on dry flies yesterday morning.
Really? Oh, man.
Nothing more fun than watching that head come up out of the water and suck that dry fly down. Ooh, there's nothing more fun than that. That is that's really fun stuff.
Unbelievable.
Getting a lot of good reports from Big Lake, A1 Lake, Horseshoe Cienega. Sunrise has definitely been the top producer up here. Lots of fish coming out of Sunrise, lots of healthy fish coming out of Sunrise Lake. And I would go over there, but I'm avoiding the crowds over here at Becker Lake. Oh, we probably got a half dozen boats on the lake. Not too bad at all. And we were supposed to get a little bit of weather in here last night, and it missed us. Hopefully it comes in this evening. It says it's supposed to, so we need some moisture up here for sure. Everything is dry.
I was looking at the weather a little bit ago, and there wasn't anything showing for tomorrow. What's let's see. I don't know if I can get Becker Lake up here, but anyway, doesn't matter. It is what
Becker
it is.
Becker Lake's supposed to get a little bit of a storm this afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kind of said the same thing yesterday. Totally avoided us. I was a little bummed out. I was hoping we'd get some moisture up here in the mountains. We dang sure need it.
Oh yeah.
And I just watched the bald eagle come down and grab a fish out of the water. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's got to make a living. I get it.
Yeah, and he's a much better fisherman than I.
Yeah, they are. Well, what's your week looking like? You got any classes coming up? I know you were doing the Fishing 101 and
we've got the 101 class. It's a very popular class. It's a class the fish do not want you to know about. It takes you from zero to hero in 2 hours, gets you ready to be on the water for success. So we'll have that class coming up on Wednesday night. We have it every other Wednesday and every other Saturday right there in the shop. It's a very popular class. I'll also tell you it's a great time to be out on the canals fishing for those giant grass carp. We've been doing that. I'll be out there in the middle of the week doing that. I've been out fishing the Salt River in the evenings. I mean, it's chaos daytime out there. But if you get out there at 4:30, 5 o'clock, the tubers and the kayakers, they start to trim out. And there's a lot of trout in the Salt River right now. Arizona Game and Fish has been not only stocking rainbows, but also Gila trout in the Salt River. And there's a lot of bass in the Salt River and the Sonora suckers, so there's a lot of fish there to be had. And it's a beautiful way to spend the evening. I've been trying to do that a day a week and really having a good time with that. So there's a lot of fishing opportunities in the White Mountains and also right there around the valley.
Let me ask you this. I've spent quite a bit of time on the Salt River myself, and where the tubers put in, if you take that little trail to the north towards the dam, do you go up there at all?
I've been up there. I have not been able to have a lot of success up there. There's some really good-looking water, but for some reason I have not had a lot of success up there. I'll tell you where we have a lot of success is right around the bridge, either above the bridge or right below the bridge. There's a lot of trout that hold in that water.
Really?
For some reason. There's some spots a little further down before the takeout, where the tubers take out.
Uh-huh.
But what I do is I get in there and try to find some soft water off to the side. In the evening, those fish will start to rise, in that soft water around the river. And, it's a great way to spend the evening and end the day, I tell you right now. A lot of fish to be had.
Always is. Yeah. I always enjoyed taking that hike up there towards the dam. There's some big largemouth bass in there. I mean, huge.
There are. There's a lot of, a lot of guys are catching real small bass, those real small bass, 12, 14-inch bass. They're fat. They're real healthy in the river.
Yeah.
But I watched a guy one day pull a 9.5-pound largemouth out of the Salt River. So they're definitely in there. I've never got any of the bigger ones. I've gotten some, maybe 2-pounders out of the river. But they're fun to catch on a fly rod. I tell you, even a 12 to 14-inch largemouth on a fly rod, that's a fun time.
Oh, it's a battle.
And it's such a beautiful place, right there on the edge of town. I would say very underutilized by the fishermen. Very underutilized.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I found curious, fishing that expanse from there, I haven't encountered any rattlesnakes from put in to take out, but that north area, boy, along that trail you got to be really, really watching your situational awareness on these rattlesnakes. There's a lot of grass, a lot of brush right along the trail, and
and there's not as many people go up there, so you're going to run into more snakes up there. We do run into the occasional rattlesnake out on the Salt River. I'll tell you what, we ran into a hive of killer bees here about a week and a half ago out there.
Oh, get out of here!
Africanized bees. Oh man, they were living inside of a hole in a kind of a granite face, and my buddy is kind of climbing himself up out of this area we're in, and he's like, oh, I can make that. I'll put my rod up there and just take 2 steps, hand over foot, and I'll be done. Well, he put his rod up there. He takes 1 step. He starts to hear this low growl, and he looks up, and the bees were all coming out. And so he said, I'll back off right now. Left his fly rod there, and came back the next morning about 4:30 in the morning in heavy jeans and a heavy sweatshirt, and covered himself up good and went back in there and got his rod. But it's something else you got to look out for out there. Those Africanized bees, because they are around. We had one day we were out there that actually the night before, we knew it was there. We didn't know exactly where it was. But the night before, we heard somebody go up that way, and all of a sudden they start screaming. They got attacked by those bees. So it's one more thing in the desert you got to watch out for.
Killer bees. Man, who knew?
Killer bees. Moving in. I've never had a problem with them. They're out there, but just one more thing to kind of watch out for when you're out there in the desert.
Yeah. I tell you what, boy, you got to keep your head on a swivel in the desert. Dude, let me tell you.
We had, I don't know if you saw, about 5 days ago, Cinda was over here at Becker Lake. She guides up here in the White Mountains, does a fantastic job. And she was here at Becker Lake. She went into the restroom here and sat down on the toilet. And right there next to the garbage can was a coiled-up rattlesnake. She ended her business pretty quick and got out of there.
I'll tell you what, that'd take holy crap to a whole new level.
I'll tell you what, might even scare the piss out of you, huh?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love you, man. Okay. Yeah, between that and gay pride, oh, man, I want to have some hate mail this week, so...
Well, I'll tell you what, we're getting ready here in a couple weeks. I'll be getting ready to head down to the Amazon. We're going into Kenjam. It's a Kayapo village about 800 miles into the jungle. I've got 6 guys I'm taking down there, and we actually stay in the Kayapo village. They help guide us on the river. Hopefully I'll have a satellite connection down there and be able to do the call down there.
Yeah, I hope so. Let me give you a heads up. There's a level 2 to level 4 travel advisory for Brazil proper, so you might want to take a look at that. So,
I heard that, and I'll tell you what. Here's the thing about these trips. Guys worry about that. We go on these trips. These these fly fishermen,
30
these trips are
seconds.
not inexpensive. They're expensive trips. It's a rainmaker for these guys down there. I mean, they're just making out big time.
Yeah.
They make sure they're with us from the time we land in the airport, all the way through. And if one bad thing happened to an American on one of these trips, it'd be over.
I got
It'd
you.
be done.
I'm gonna wish you the best the rest of the weekend. I will talk to you next week. So the only other thing I can tell you going into Brazil is in the rainforest is watch out for the pygmies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my man. Hey, thank you, Don McDowell.
Hey, love what you do, man. Chris Rich, AZ Fly Shop. The Tug is a Drug at AZ Fly Shop, where the adventure begins. We're gonna flip into break, then we're going cowboying. Okay, Chris Rich is still with us. Chris, I want to do some follow-up on your travels. first of all, what kind of equipment are you taking down there to Brazil? Because you're dealing with some pretty big, mean fish.
We'll be fishing. There's a few different locations we go to in the Amazon, and that's a great question. This area we're going to in Kenjam, we'll be fishing up near the headwaters of the Iriri River, and we'll be in crystal clear water. We'll be doing some wet wading. We're not going to be fishing for the giant 20-pound peacocks. We'll be catching some 10-pound peacocks, but there's also about 12 different jungle species that we'll be chasing down there. The red-tailed catfish, the pacu, arapaima.
Yeah, hang on. Pacu get they get pretty good size.
Yeah, they can get pretty good size. We'll be taking a 6-weight through an 8-weight, 6, 7, and 8-weight floating line. The 8-weight will also take a sinking line for that. There are some deeper holes that we'll fish, but not the giant fish. Later in the year, in October, we'll be going down to Rio Marie. That's where they catch world record peacock bass. It depends on where you're at in the Amazon as to what you have to take. This trip will be taking 6, 7, and 8 weights down there. Going to be a cool trip. I mean, this village has been out in the jungle since the beginning of time, and kind of a neat situation to be able to go out there and experience that.
Well, absolutely. It's doesn't get any better than that. But Rio Marie, that over the last couple of years has emerged as the go-to place for giant peacock bass, and it didn't used to be that. It was the upper Rio Negro. So, it's kind of
the upper Rio Negro. You're going to get better numbers of fish, but about the last 18 world record peacocks have come out of Rio Marie. So, it's a special trip.
Yeah.
Literally every cast, you've got a shot at setting a new world record. I think I was about 3 centimeters off of a world record last time I was down there.
Wow.
But it seems like almost every year they get a new world record coming out of there. The conditions are just right, and the nice thing about Rio Marie is it's got a real high mineral content, so the bugs can't breed in the water. So no mosquitoes, no bug bites for anybody, no no-see-ums, none of that stuff, which can be a real problem when you get into the jungle. So it's just one more thing you got to think about down there. You got to be careful and not go out into the jungle by yourself, and don't turn over leaves and twigs and logs and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, rule number
In fact,
one.
I'm listening.
Rule number one
I'm
is
reading right now.
Don't get out of the boat. No.
Well, in Rio Marie, we swim every day in the river.
Wrong.
Because the high mineral content, the piranhas and the caimans don't like that water. So there's no piranhas, no caiman. To cool off, we jump in the river 2, 3 times a day.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm actually reading right now The River of Doubt, which is the story about Roosevelt going down there and exploring the River of Doubt, and that was quite an expedition. So maybe not the book you want to read if it's your first time going down into the Amazon.
Well,
it'll
the last couple of weeks, I'm not going to be in Tonto Basin, going by Roosevelt, but it's interesting to see how much that lake has dropped. I didn't get into it today. Guggenauer's off being a commissioner. They've got the WAFA meeting out of state, so we'll get plugged into him next week. But it's just amazing on the Tonto end how fast the water's dropping. I mean, it's just last week you could get a boat, quite a ways up there. Now you can't even hike up there. And
it's water's going to be an issue for us. They're saying they've got good predictions for a wet monsoon season. We sure need it.
I don't believe it.
Everything up here is low. The lakes are all low. The streams are really, really low. The Indians are concerned about some of their springs drying up here this year. So they've actually got most of the reservation right now is closed down. all the lakes along 260, all the fishing lakes, the good fishing lakes are open because they're right along the road. But any of the backcountry on the res is all closed down right now. And, you know, probably not a bad idea. If we don't start getting some weather, I would imagine the Forest Service is going to do the same thing.
Well, they've already threatened. We're talking to my ranchers going back 2 months ago. The Forest Service, that would be Tonto National Forest, and they were already talking. If we don't get significant precipitation, they're going to have to pull the cows off the landscape. And we got a little bit of rain, so they got that reprieve. We were just trying to get a hold of Chris Rich over at the Bar X, which is, it's between Tonto Basin and the lake, Roosevelt. They're pulling cows off there. Everybody I know is going to market. Talked to Shad Beebe yesterday down by Florence. Same thing. I mean, it's a bad year already, and I don't put any credence. God love them. They do the best job that they can, that they know how to do, and that's NOAA with the predictions and all that. But the thing they're not looking at is the fish. The pelagics are way late. We don't know when they're coming in. There's a pod of yellowtail down at down the coast up Punta Colonet and beyond Mag Bay down there. But historically, they're within the yellowtail are at the beach. They're fishing the 9, the bullpen over out of Ensenada, that kind of stuff, and the islands. The fish aren't there. There's no sign of bluefin. The bluefin should have been here by now. And, I mean, God, these guys are 3 months late. It's June. So
You know, I tell you, I was in Mag Bay last year in October, and we caught a lot of fish, but it was a very different species of fish than what we normally catch down there that time of year. Normally that time of year in October, we're fishing in 76 to 82 degree water, and we never found water over 69 degrees. So, I mean, the fish follow the water temp, and they've been dealing with it down there as well. So it's been going on for a while, and it's hard to say. I mean, things are definitely different.
Well, that current that current's dictated by the alpha jet stream. You know, it's been moving up, down, up, down, up, down. And, if it doesn't stabilize and bring this current in where the warmer water is, we're not going to have a saltwater season this year. And right now it's looking pretty damn grim as far as I'm concerned, not only for the fish, but I'm more concerned about the precipitation levels that we've got to deal with. We're trying to jam well rehabs, taking old wells and converting them to solar and getting water on the ground for wildlife, water on the ground for the cows and the rest of the livestock. It's just, I think it's just going to be brutal this year. So anyway, that's my.
But I will tell you, there's a good healthy elk population up here. I passed by probably a half dozen nice bulls right on the side of the road.
There you go.
Coming over here, they're all in the velvet. It's nice to see them. So, I mean, they're going to struggle as well this year if they don't start to get some moisture up here. But it's an issue for us for sure. It's I don't ever remember being in this kind of shape here in Arizona.
Yeah, we're in bad shape. Well, we'll see how it is. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks again for filling us in on your trip down there. Always a pleasure, my friend.
You got it. We'll talk to you next week, Don.
Roger that. Chris Rich back over at the AZ Fly Shop, so he's having too much fun. So I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910, and you know what? I'm having fun too. Don't get my hate mail.
Outdoors on Fox Sports 910.
Okay, a lot of information passed along today, and I want to thank Chris Hoffarth. Sent me a heads up on harmful golden algae detected in Apache Lake over on Tonto National Forest. This algae bloom was detected in Apache Lake recently when Game and Fish employees noticed a change in the water color during routine sampling. I don't know what the effect as of yet is, but we'll look into that. Some things you need to know. We don't know how long the golden alga bloom will be. Sometimes it lasts up to 2 weeks. In the meantime, authorities are asking visitors to stay out of Apache Lake. Stay out of the lake. Don't get in the water. Don't let your pets in the water. Stay away from the algae and the scum in the water. Keep children and pets away from the alga in the water. Don't drink the water that's given, and certainly don't use it for cooking. Avoid eating the fish from the water until the bloom is dissipated. Toxins can build up in the fish tissue. Yeah, they certainly do. So when in doubt, stay out. We hope we don't have a big fish die-off, big fish kill. It starts with the forage fish, shad, if you will, and on up to the bigger apex fish that we like to play with. So I don't know if anything's been detected in downstream. We've got Coast Guard personnel on Saguaro Lake. We'll see. I'll be talking to them here once we get off the air. So a couple other things you need to really be cognizant of this time of the year is rattlesnakes. I can't tell you how many rattlesnakes I've seen in the last 2 weeks. Recently was Tonto Basin, Roosevelt area, Pumpkin Center, that kind of area over there, and there's numerous snakes getting mushed on the highway, and they seem to be crossing from the west side to the east side, getting over into the more moist areas along the farmettes, the ranchettes, and down into what's left of Tonto Basin. So, but just be aware, especially, we're moving into the time of year for nighttime tournaments. Launch ramps are notorious, along with the parking lots, for having snakes coil up around your truck tire, boat trailer tire. So watch it. The other thing, earlier, Matt and I were talking about Mark Townsend. We don't have the automatic pay stations, but back in the day we were going into Windy Hill. And once again, I found my team partner, white-knuckled. He had encountered a mountain lion at the Windy Hill pay station when they were active. And once again, great big eyes, white knuckles. It was a long night for Mark. He didn't get out of the truck till 2 hours after lunch. So it was crazy. But anyway, just be aware. Well, we've got a robust mountain lion problem or population. Normally they're not an issue, but trust. Just don't trust them. So anyway, that's pretty much what's going on around the launch ramp. So I'm curious to see, what Salt River Project is doing with the dam down there. We've put 2 phone calls into SRP trying to get some feedback and get one of their representatives on the air to visit with us in studio. But being Sunday morning, they like their weekends apparently. Yes. So they don't get overtime showing up at Don McDowell Outdoors. Beats me, I mean, come on. So that's pretty much what's going on. One of the things that came to mind this week was the danger that we have on lakes in Arizona. Lake Mead is one of the most dangerous lakes in the country. It's brutal. It's got a high drowning rate. That's a reservoir between Arizona and Nevada, and they average approximately 12 drownings per year. In the last couple of years, Lake Pleasant has been known as one of the most dangerous lakes, right up there with Havasu. There's an average about 14 water-related deaths between Parker and Lake Havasu. There's drownings, there's boat incidences, boat accidents, that kind of thing. One of the problems with this past week, there was a young Air Force cadet run over by a jet ski being operated by two illegals, and she was killed. She was dead at the scene, and the jet ski operator fled the scene. They got caught, got arrested, and they're let's just say they're in some hot water, reckless behavior, and that runs abound up at Lake Mead, Lake Pleasant, Lake Havasu is boating under the influence and reckless behavior by the operators that are contributing to the accidents. The water fluctuation issues that we have, water's way down, as you know, at Lake Mead. And one of the problems that we have at Lake Pleasant that adds to the confusion being a boater, we've got, sailboats and wakeboard boats. Paddlecraft is another one adding to the chaos. It's not all of them, but once again, it's 10% that jack it up and ruin it for the other 90%, ignoring the rules, regulations, and, taking a kayak out in the high-speed lanes is not a good idea because you can't see the damn things. There's always chop on Lake Pleasant, and one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is the fluctuating water levels on the lake. We have about an annual 100-foot vertical drop or rise in water, depending on what year it is. They draw down for irrigation needs in the summertime because the Lake Pleasant actually is a holding lake for the CAP. The water comes in, the water goes out, comes in, goes out. So speaking of that, when it is coming in, fishing the pumps at the dam outside the buoys, and don't tie up the buoy to the buoys, you'll get a ticket. I've seen some people get a ticket for tying up to the buoys, let's just say. I've seen it happen up close and personal. But wasn't me. But anyway, using an ounce and a half Castmaster, 100-pound test braid, at least 80, and throw it directly at the pumps and count it down to about 80, and then jig it back to the boat. You'll be surprised what is lurking in the water. I mean, big bass, white bass, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, in closing up, we've seen quite a few wildfires along the shoulders of the road going from Phoenix to Payson, just north of the Bush Highway turnoff, going into Saguaro Lake there to downtown Payson. So please, I don't care what kind of trailer you have, you got safety chains on the trailer, adjust your chain link so that they are not dragging on the pavement, and check your hooks and make sure that your hooks are well behaved as well, not jumping out of the safety rings on your receiver hitch. Boy, it's just fire after fire after fire, and so far we've dodged the bullet, especially with the Greer fire. That could have been pretty catastrophic. So just watch your chains, and I've got another alert here from Chris. 2 mountain lions were killed in Verrado, one at the stairs and one at a neighbor's place. So, wow. Got to watch for lions and tigers and bears, okay? Maybe an occasional giraffe, depending on what you're smoking. So, anyway, that's just I don't know where that thought came from. So, listen, we're going to get this thing wound up and get on with the day. NASCAR's coming to town from Nashville, so I'm looking for Chris Bell. So take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat. Check us out on the website. Like us on Instagram and Facebook. We're out of here.